Well, the crowd at the Democratic National Convention was electric last night after Vice President Kamala Harris took to the stage telling voters she would be president for all Americans.
One of the people who attended that week-long event was Buffalo Common Council member Zeneta Everhart, who is now a campaign surrogate for the Harris-Walz campaign. She joins us now, fresh off the plane from Chicago. We appreciate you coming here.
Yeah, thank you.
Tell me about that.
Me.
Yeah, tell me about that surrogate role. What does that mean for you?
It's an exciting opportunity. And so what the campaign does is they reach out to local elected officials in cities, in different states across the country. And what they want is they want people who are supporters of the vice president, for president, to go out to battleground states and different communities and basically just hype up the crowds, right? And you're gonna go out there and then there'll be issue-based things, right? And so obviously, my role in, coming out and speaking out after 5/14, so I'll be doing some things around that, working with some other gun reform community-based organizations and things like that across the country, and just going out and talking to people about the importance of voting for Kamala Harris and, what that means for our country and what she can do to help us, right? So I'm really, really excited about that. And then there'll be a lot of, things that I'll do here on the ground in Buffalo. But yeah, they want me to go out to different communities and talk to people on issue-based things.
Congrats on that role. That's a tremendous opportunity for a local delegate to have. So congrats. So let's talk a little bit about the sort of overarching theme of the entire past 4 days. We watched it. We were here late night most of this week. I mean, they were late nights. We saw the energy. We saw the response from the crowd. Of course, we saw the speeches. Yeah. We saw last night. What was it like for you? That was your first convention.
It was my first convention. And first of all, it was an absolute honor to be there amongst so many people from across the country. But one of the things that was mostly, it stands out the most to me, and I was just talking about this, is the diversity in that room. I mean, literally on our row, right? Just sitting where we were sitting, right? You had black people, you had white people, you had Asian people, you had Chinese people, right? You had men, you had women, you had people in the LGBTQ community. It was beautiful. Like it was just, our row was representative of America. But it was an absolute honor, to serve as a delegate. And I'm fanning out, right? Like, I'm a political junkie. I am a fan of, all things politics and government. But it really was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I hope it's not the last time that I get to go. But it was surreal. It was surreal to be in that space.
As a political junkie, we had Michael Crocker on earlier. He mentioned how she still has no policy. She's laid out. Yeah. I feel like last night we did hear in that speech, we heard a lot. Could you go over some of that for those who are still confused?
Yeah, so for me, one of the things I knew that she was going to talk about was the future of this country, right? Because that's what's important to me as a mother, right? I want to hear about what is our president going to do for Zaire? How are you going to help him, right? But she talked about all of that, right? Talking about opportunity, right? Bringing back things that are giving our young people opportunity to stay in their neighborhoods, to thrive in their neighborhoods, right? To be able to have a house in their neighborhoods, right? Those are the things that I look for in a leader and in our president. And she definitely laid that out. I've seen, obviously I jumped on Twitter this morning just like everybody else, and people are like, well, where's her agenda? And I'm like, the woman was speaking about everything that we wanted to hear her talk about last night. So I don't know what they were watching, but I heard everything that she said is exactly what I wanted to hear, right? Because it's not about me, it's not about today, it's not about the now, it is about the future, and it's about Zaire, and it's about his peers, right, and his children. And I think that she definitely did a really good job about laying that out for us last night.
There is always a tremendous amount of energy that comes from these conventions. Same amount of energy happened after the GOP convention, and now Democrats are having this tremendous rise in energy. Yeah. Eventually that will go back to sort of back to zero, if you will. And then the campaign really has its work cut out for us, both sides. How do you think you keep that energy maintained through the next 74 days to make sure that you see this to the finish line?
Yeah, I think that it definitely started this week, right? But I think how you maintain it is exactly what they did during the convention, right? There were so many opportunities to network and to find people and say, look, I live in this community, right? You live 30 minutes from me. Maybe we can link up and do some stuff around the campaign together. So there was a lot of that happening. And I think that's what's going to take to keep the momentum going. It's going to take people stepping outside of their comfort zones, outside of their neighborhoods, outside of their communities, and going out. Things are already being set up here in Buffalo for us to work out in Pennsylvania. Obviously, we're neighbors, right? So we want to go over there and connect with people there. But that was starting already this week. You know, I met so many people. I have so many business cards. We had so many conversations about exactly that. How do we keep the momentum going? But I think that's what it is. We have to keep talking about it. We have to set up the phone banking and the door knocking, but we also have to come outside of our comfort zones and come outside of our community. That's how we keep the momentum going.
Lastly, as a black woman, you saw a black woman on that stage.
Yeah.
What does that mean for you? How does that resonate?
I fangirled out, and that blue suit was magical. You know, I love Kamala, right? Like, I love her because it's personal. Right, obviously after 5/14, she came to Buffalo and she spent some time with Zaire, not once but twice, right? And you know, when I heard she was running for president, what popped in my head was those moments that she sat with Zaire and she held his hand, right? And she hugged on my baby, right? And she rubbed his back, right? And that to me is who I want leading my country. And so to be in that space with her, to share a space with her, it means everything, right? Like just watching her, she's such a classy lady too, but just watching her be beautiful, be black, be comfortable in her skin, but also be brilliant and intelligent. Right, she knows her stuff, and that's magical to me, and especially as me being a councilwoman, right? That's someone that I look up to, right? When I was, you know, thinking about different things that I could put forward legislatively in the city of Buffalo, you know, my first term as a councilwoman, I was thinking about conversations I had with our vice president when she 2 years ago told me about starting the Office of Gun Violence and Prevention, right? And I was like, oh my God, that's gonna be great. And so, you know, when I had the opportunity, you know, I did it here in the city of Buffalo, and you know, we're working on getting that developed. And so, you know, that's what she does. That's who our vice president is, right? She inspires people to be better and to do better. And, you know, in the words of Michelle Obama, do something, right?
Buffalo Common Councilwoman Zeneta Everhart, thank you very much. Thank you for literally getting off the plane and coming here.
You're welcome.
Above and beyond. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.